Hello, everybody. It is my birthday today, which you probably noticed that, right? It's snowing like a son of a bitch. Well, at the moment I checked the weather at the time of the recording, the snow had temporarily ceased for the time being. And there's certainly plenty of snow out there as it is. And looking at the forecast, we're going to get oh my god, we're going to get a lot more. But you know what, today I'm a little confused about a couple things. Now today I'm going to tell you about a few interesting articles, which I tried to verify this one here. Facebook gives users dozens of new gender options. I'm sorry, I didn't see a checklist of gender options. When I checked to change my gender, the only two choices were male and female, or custom. So I am female legally, so bite me. Anyway, of course, today is also another interesting news article. I'm just going to read you the first paragraph of this. It says, let me get past the picture. In a signed letter issued on Wednesday, 18 members of Congress had called for President Barack Obama to reclassify marijuana, a drug currently listed as the same category as heroin and LSD. Authored by Representative Earl Blumhauer, the Democrat of Oregon, the letter comes after President Obama's comments to the New Yorker in January, in which he stated he believed that marijuana is not any more dangerous than drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes. I think that's great. I really do. I think it would be wonderful to see it reclassified. I mean, it would solve a lot of problems because for states, Washington and Colorado, that have already legalized it for recreational use, by getting it reclassified will mean that people who are living in Section 8 housing in those states don't have to worry about federal programs like Section 8 voucher programs throwing them off the rolls, even though they're legal in those states. That's the reason why the federal government, and the states have to have some kind of common middle ground here. It's not because anybody wants to be the assholes of the month, okay? It's just there has to be commonality because it's important to keep things consistent, because there's so much that goes on the state levels that depend on federal programs. In fact, there's another example of Wyoming. There's a issue with the Environmental Protection Agency regarding a local group Indian reservation that, even despite 1904, said that the land that the Indian reservation has is to be used for both Native Americans and the people of the state of Wyoming. The court case declared that land belongs to Indians and basically said the federal government has no jurisdiction on that land. Okay. Again, this is similar to what we're talking about with the marijuana business, because in one sense they're saying is that land is sovereign land, it belongs to the Indian tribes in Wyoming, and now all you white hunkies gotta leave. I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's true. Well, obviously, the governor of Wyoming is obviously in a bit riled up over that. Even the Indian tribes themselves are kind of asking for this case to be appealed, because I think that it's really not too fair, because the Indian tribes had worked a deal out in 1904 with the Department of the Interior, saying that land was to be used for both Indians and non-Indian users. Now, some of you wonder why I never sit there and never basically do an Alex Jones show where you sit there and say all these horrible things that he says. Well, let me tell you something. I'm getting a little fed up with the guy. I mean, he sits there in his desk, his capsule microphone in front of him, and he's telling me things like, "You will be gassed by the accent sarin because you are a patriot. You believe in the Second Amendment right. You believe in the blah, 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 blah." Shut up. Okay, yes, I do believe in the Constitution, but I'm going to tell you something. Alex Jones, I didn't even know you're on my subscription list. You keep going like that, you're going to be leaving my subscription list pretty quickly. The truth of the matter is, there's a lot of things going on in the world that nobody likes. The problem with him is, in some ways, he's a scaremonger. I know deep down in his heart he's trying to do the right thing. Oh yeah, I'll make sure also he makes a nice tidy profit in his sales of his water filters and special iodine pills and everything else too, which I don't know if that stuff really is going to help you with Fukushima. You know what I mean? Fukushima's radiation has already crossed the Pacific Ocean. It's already showing up in parts of California. And it's killing fish in the oceans. And even though watching some of the different commercials about the fishing industry, including Long John Silver, saying is that the fish are free range and all that, my first question is where are you getting the fish from? Because obviously if it's Pacific Ocean fish, I tend to wonder about the radiation levels in that fish. And just like I worry about the mercury levels in my fish too. Now, speaking of mercury, let's talk about something that also I found very fascinating. I'm going to show you a clip. This is from yesterday. Now watch this. Hi guys, it's me. I'm just testing something. Right now our heat is, which is the wiring in the thermostat, so I kind of messed up. And our thermostat is located in an apartment. And they went on holiday and resulted in, of course, us not having any heat. It's going to be getting cold for the next few days. So remember a quip that was said one time on the internet about incandescent light bulbs saying is, they're not only my light, they're also my heaters. So we put the incandescents in. I had to adjust the white balance to look halfway decent at incandescent light bulbs. Knowing me, when I look at this video, I'm going to probably look washed out again. Now, did you see that was under tungsten lighting? And the first thing you will notice, or maybe you don't know, is I did not have to have the lens wide open during that exposure. It was dark, and I was able to turn the lens down by a factor of 3. It turns out that the sensor in this camera is more sensitive to incandescent lighting than it is to CFLs. Who would have thought? Honestly, who would have thought? 100 watt incandescent bulb. It gives me about the equivalent. I got the equivalent of 250 watts of lighting in these fixtures now. Each one. There's 3 of them. Okay, and those 3 fixtures are the one in front of me has got a 45 watt CFL, 6,500 degrees Kelvin. The one on the left side, which is the hero light and also the background light, same size. And the one on the right side, which is mostly lights the background, same size. So that's about 135 watts of power between the 3. And it turns out that if I multiply those by a factor of 5, 280 plus another 140 would be 320 watts. So you're talking about 320 watts of light. And they're saying that even though the same fixtures with 3 standard incandescent 100 watt light bulbs is giving me a picture where I can turn the lens on my camera down 3 friggin' whole stops. Now you tell me, same shutter speed, you tell me that makes any sense. Obviously my exposure meter lies to me, because my exposure meter kind of goes, well, 6,500 degrees is what I work with. I don't know. Actually, probably do this better with about 5,500, actually. But I'm trying to get at is, my exposure meter is telling me that those 3 lights, incandescents, tungsten bulbs, is too dark. But when I actually put the camera at them, it's so bright, I have to actually turn the lens down 3 stops to avoid overexposure. Now, I don't understand how that works because that confuses the hell out of me. So now I'm wondering, do I gotta change my light bulbs again? I need the light to be blue, or green, or for blue, or for the green for the background for the chroma key when I use the chroma key. I don't want to have to change bulbs every fucking day. Okay, that's not gonna happen. I just want to be able to get a good shot. And the sad truth is that given what I'm seeing, I'm not going to get that good shot. Because every time I try, it's like, I don't know, I just can't, I just cannot for the life of me figure out how in the heck can 300 incandescent light bulbs outperform 3 45-watt CFLs. And it does. When you look at the camera sensor, it seems to be the sensor sensitive more to the reds. Or the slightly lower, maybe halogen bulbs. Because I only have one. I should try to get some more. Maybe the halogen bulbs. The whatever size that Sylvania makes. I only got one fixture with one of those bulbs in it. I aimed the camera at that lamp, and the color temperature looked great. I was like, Mamma mia, I do not understand that. I have to figure out now how I'm supposed to stop these lenses down to deal with all these different color temperatures. It just doesn't make any sense. But if the color temperature is too low, then my hair looks yellow. My hair is supposed to be white, but obviously there is naturally a little bit of yellow in it. And that's just the nature of the hair. I can't help that. I mean, my hairstylist busts his tails to make my hair white. He really does. And you know what? The thing is, this wall behind you, you saw that in the video. That wall doesn't look blue. It looks like it was gray. This wall is navy blue. Despite the fact sitting over a hot camera and trying to adjust the color temperature in that shot to make it look as natural and as close to CFL as I could, I remember those bulbs have a color rendering index of 100. These have a color rendering index of about 95. That's 2,700 degrees Kelvin. These are 6,500 degrees Kelvin. It's just some of the shit I have to deal with here in the studio. I'm never sure exactly what's coming or going sometimes. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just means that's the way it is. Now, as I said earlier, when I was dealing with listening to Alex Jones and his bullshit rama, I want to tell you something. Alex Jones, can you ever come up with some news that actually doesn't necessarily make you have to listen to your audience live an anxiety attack? Honestly, can't you come up with something that says to an audience, oh, well, we both know that the president is trying to become a dictator, but it's all right because you have the power as an American citizen to shut him down. Just vote decent people in office. Damn straight. That's exactly what you gotta do. You gotta vote the decent people in office, and it's gonna get rid of the clown. That's what you have to do. Now, do you think our benevolent despot, Mr. Obama, is going to disagree or agree to enforce the DEA to change the drug classification for marijuana? First of all, isn't it Congress's job? If it's Congress's job, why the fuck you go to this guy? Congress, get your administrative house in order and get a bill passed that tells the DEA you will not consider alcohol to be a schedule, heroin or marijuana in this case to be a Schedule 1. You will at least reclassify it as a Schedule 2. Which would work out great for the states that use it for legal marijuana for medical purposes, or change it to a Schedule 3. I think the more problems we've had with alcohol and tobacco than we ever had with marijuana. Okay, marijuana makes you want to crave the carbs. Okay, fine. So, does that mean that marijuana is bad for you because it increases the risk of obesity? Fuck you. I'll tell you something. You don't even have to eat marijuana to get high. Shit, how many times? Ask any junk food addict, Io Mio and others, what happens when we get those endorphins pumping through our blood vessels as you're eating a set of ding-dongs. Hello, it is our fix. That's what we do. Like, you don't see someone saying, oh, we have to turn food into a Schedule 1. Oh, I'm sorry, we just signed the death warrant to every single American. Hello. You see what I'm getting at here? We try to supposedly solve a problem, but then we end up creating a problem, and that didn't solve the problem. By the way, one of the things also, too, is that the amount of cigarette usage has dropped in the United States overall. That's what the United States wanted. On the other hand, another thing that dropped in the United States overall, Generation Y and Generation X, although more of a Generation Y than X, has given up the idea of driving cars. They have decided to forego getting a driver's license because they don't want the expense. And so obviously when they get things done, they go shopping in town. That's great for the local chamber of commerces because that means that each person can go to the local stores to buy groceries and things. It's bad for the local automobile car dealerships. It's bad for the state tax coffers because there's no one registering a license for a car. But you know what? The thing is I think that when you try to overregulate something, or you try to turn something that is kind of the desire of not having a car is become a giant albatross that hangs around everybody's neck. In a snowstorm like today, you're not going to see very many people voluntarily driving the cars to go anywhere. They are going to keep the car parked in the garage, and they're going to, or if they don't have a garage, they're going to keep it parked in the driveway. Because it's just too dang a pain in the ass to get it out. You got to shovel it out. You got to warm up the engine. You got to hope to God that the rest of the car is operable. Make sure that you've got enough lubrication to the transmission and the differential, and pay your taxes and insurance, and it's just not practical. And the Generation Y kids realize that. And so they have decided, and they said to themselves, I'm not going there. Because right now there's no reason. They also are fairly aware that it's costing too much money. So while we, in one sense, we're saying is okay, well, we're going to go ahead and tell these same kids not to smoke, not to drink. They're saving their money by not having a car so they could do other things with it, including, in some cases, smoke and drink. But the truth is that's not even a big deal to them. That's not even the main blip on the radar. A lot of these kids today are looking forward to trying to save up their nest egg so they can own the American dream, a home. Which I can understand that perspective. I mean, you want a car? That's great, but that means it's going to cut into your savings that you're going to save for a house. And if you don't have a guaranteed job, you gotta watch every nickel you got because you don't know if there won't be any next job next week or even tomorrow. That's how insecure things are. Hello. Very interesting. Anyway, that was the message I got from some company trying to spam me, trying to say something like my MasterCard had been locked, blah, 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 blah. Did not give a number, did not tell me which card it was. That's the kind of shit you gotta watch out for in this day and age. And you know what? That's another thing. A lot of kids today have decided to forego getting credit cards unless they really need to because they'd rather work on a cash structure. In addition to that, the different companies such as MasterCard and Visa are trying to consider using a chip and PIN system to protect clients. However, the question is will this really necessarily work in all cases? And the answer is probably not because it's just not going to work for all clients, all cases. Because, like I just said, that was a voicemail, that was a robocall. And if I happen to have been stupid enough to press 1 on that number, what would happen is the robocaller would get me through to a human being, which would probably say, "Oh, I'm sorry, could you at least tell us the whole credit card number?" And then you would have gotten into that and see the whole credit card number, and then probably say, "What's the expiration date on it, please?" "Oh, and by the way, what is the CVV on the back?" "Hello, do you realize what you just did?" "Yeah, exactly. You gave them every way authorized to charge a credit card up tomorrow. It's not fun. It's not practical. But however, let's talk about something that is practical. If you really do want to use a credit card, how can you tell if a credit card number that's calling you is real or not? Here's the secret. After this broadcast, I'm going to call up my credit card company, the real credit card company, and I'm going to ask them about that message, if they have heard of anybody getting a message like that. And if they tell me that they did not submit such a message, or if that message does not sound valid, that I did the right thing by calling and asking, did I know it's a scam? And that's what I'm going to do. Because there's too many scammers out there looking for excuses to rob you blind. And I don't want to see that happen to you or anyone else. So, anyway, it's been a pretty rough day with all the stuff going on. So I'm going to get ready to wrap it up for now. And I will talk to you soon, really soon. Probably tomorrow I'll do a follow-up and let you know what's going on. All right? So I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye-bye.